Zach engage the theme topically of sexual morality is throughout the entire Word of God. When we bring up sexual morality today, a lot of people in the world think that we're automatically attacking them if we are a Christian bringing it up. But this really gets to the heart of what displeases God. What is something that really bothers you in the realm of sexual immorality that you think Christians are being targeted on unfairly?
Well, immediately you go to the hatred of the gay community.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
The trans movement, especially when there's a certain sect of Christian churches who have to put that flag out in front to, proclaim inclusivity.
Right.
So I think the main thing that we, as believers, get questioned with is, okay, why do you hate this so much when God preaches love, and if this man seriously loves this man, then that's love, so how come that's not okay?
Yeah. It's interesting we bring this topic up because we had a youth group last night, and one of the questions was about this, and how society has always frowned upon homosexuality and homosexual relationships, and so now that it's becoming more acceptable, shouldn't the Bible change with these times, right?
Oh wow!
And which is a very interesting question. I mean, people question at what point does the Bible catch up with times is really what people ask. And to put it simply, it's always about the current time. You look at Sodom and Gomorrah, they thought it was okay, it was socially acceptable, that was the majority of the world acknowledged
they
to be
embraced that lifestyle,
right. So
100%.
To say there was ever a point where majority of the world was like against it, it's a very odd statement, I think. Because people are going to do what they want, all right? They're going to follow their own desires. And again, going back to why do we focus on this one more than the other? Right now, this is the main focus. This is everything that's being brought up.
This is the one that's being crammed and browbeaten upon our youth.
Absolutely.
And when they just have to worry about being a kid,
right?
I it wasn't that long ago when we were in our youth.
Right.
It was like yesterday in my brain, and to think of the crap that these youngsters have to deal with.
Oh, it's
and
insane.
Not only from their peers, but from the teachers and administrators. It's like, man,
absolutely.
Shame on you as an adult.
I agree.
For presenting this to a child.
I agree.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the reason why we're so focused on this, man, is because it's infiltrating.
Right. Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's not even to the social circle. It's to the Christian family.
Right.
And it's dividing mom, dad, bro, sis.
Absolutely.
It's completely, and there
really
are
is.
a lot of people going through this, and it's something that is very new.
Right.
And when we talk about, the topic of sexual immorality, we do include any and all sexual activity that is not in the constructive framework of a man and a woman.
Right.
Okay, why do humans have sex? The reason why is so that we can have more humans.
Correct. Right. That's the whole point.
We reproduce, we recreate, just like every other animal does on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got to let my freak flag fly.
Right.
That's the mentality. It's cancerous
Absolutely.
and it's poisonous. The same problem with having a drag queen go into an elementary school and reading stories is the same problem of taking your little boy into Hooters.
Right.
There's just you don't need to expose the kid to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You can't shelter them.
No.
Your entire, but you can't just willy-nilly go, hey, check that out, 8-year-old son.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
no way. And the word calls a man and a man, woman and woman, same sex, an abomination.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
when you're dealing with, that's pretty harsh language.
It is.
When the Lord uses the words like abhor, abomination, like this is some serious stuff. Take heed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you bring up that kind of kid aspect. I was watching a podcast and they were talking about how they'll look at it and they'll over sexualize kids, and then they'll blame, like, oh, you were just viewing it, you were just seeing that kid in a sexual way,
Right.
and it's
try
like,
to spin
how
it, whatever.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, are you familiar with the Balenciaga thing that they did?
Yes.
It's the same thing. Us looking at it and going, oh, you just sexualize this kid. They're like, well, you're a pervert. That's just the way you think. But
no.
look what you
factual
did.
information.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And the fact that because, money is greed and greed is money and everyone has to get more and more and more.
Right.
The people who are attached to this guy's name who don't need him,
Right.
it's more like he needs them. It's taken him way too long to detach
Oh, absolutely.
from this when it comes to light. It's almost like they accept it,
right.
and then as soon as like they're cornered and browbeaten and going, "What?"
They don't have an option.
Like, oh, okay. Well, you're right. It's just taking me
Right.
time because I was in the Bahamas.
Right.
What? No. You need to make it a little bit more of a quicker reaction than that.
Right.
Just kind of bringing this topic to a close. What do you tell the person that has been dealing with any form of sexual sin? What's your advice to them at this point?
If it's more of a person-to-person thing,
Mm-hmm.
you got to start detaching from there. But I guarantee you the number one problem for everybody, church, world, is pornography.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's your gateway drug.
Absolutely.
And it's an absolute sin to be a single guy looking at a Playboy as it is to be, married and doing it in secret. It's not okay.
Right. And that was your whole point of sexual immorality. It's all based on that one.
Correct.
That one thing, just sexual immorality, whether it's homosexual,
Playboy mags, penthouses, right?
pornography,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, sex out of marriage. It's all in
The
one
one-night stands, right?
It's all together, and
Yeah.
So I think the best thing I could say is, we have to deny ourselves and turn to God, and so that's going to be your first step, and understanding that it is sin, and you have to move past it. I think if you truly love God, you're going to look at it and go, okay, yes, I understand that this is sin, and I do have to set aside what I believe to follow God.
Yeah. I'll just wrap up, Gish, and great conversation about this.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
we can
Thank
go
you. Oh, yeah,
a
we
lot longer than
Really-
just this.
Really could.
But I think when it started to click, to flee from that sin,
Right.
was
Absolutely.
was looking at the 10 Commandments
Yeah.
and doing the whole twofold: love the Lord
Right.
with all your heart, mind, soul, strength, and might,
Yep.
and love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right there, love your neighbor. That centerfold model could be
Right.
your sister.
Right.
It could be
it's
your
somebody's
mom
daughter.
because that's somebody's kid.
Exactly.
And when you start realizing that we are all not that far apart and we're not so different after all, and we all go through the same stuff,
Right.
then it's more of a I feel bad that you're doing this to yourself.
Right.
It's a transformation. And then
Absolutely.
once you flee from, I struggle with it still.
Yeah.
Being 31, not married, no children.
Right.
That's
terrible.
woman of Babylon. I'm sprinting, man. Don't catch me, woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Go, flee away. But
Right.
it's for anyone, and
really is.
any stage of life, and it will always be something that gnaws at you. So
Yeah.
focus on him, put him first,
That's
and
right.
flee.
That's right.